Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We're playing Blade and Sorcery today on the Nomad version. It's the Quest 2 port. It is an amazing version. It's standalone. You can go outside and do whatever you want, kill people out in the real world. No, nope, not like that. Anyway, hi, how you doing? Hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it's day or night, or you're about to go into a dungeon and completely destroy everything that's in there. Now, today I want to talk about a concept that's kind of interesting, and it's this. Was the world better before we had the internet? Let's talk about that. All right, so let's get things kicked off. I'm going to try to be sneaky here right off the bat and see where my foes are. Ooh, can I get her with an arrow? I don't even know. Let's see if I can sneak up on her with an arrow. We'll do our first traditional slow motion kill of the day here. I'll slow it down. Can I get this woman right here? Let's see if I can get her. Oh, I got her. Nope, I don't want that arrow. I want the special one. Ha! Oh, nope, nope. Oh god. Oh, she's coming. Oh no. Oh no. This is what I was talking about with these silver arrows in another video. These arrows are incredible when you've got like the extra damage sort of immortality mods on, because you're seeing here I can stick these guys full of arrows, and these aren't like the normal arrows in the game, right? So if I just use a normal arrow, you can see it'll just kind of... Oh wait, hold on, I want to show you're screwing up my science. See, it'll stick just a little bit, right, and it'll come out. But the silver arrows they're amazing. Is she dead yet? Oh no. Oh no, she's tacked to the ground. Oh no. Let's put her out of her misery. Oh god. Ugh. Did that work? No. This must be the full immortal mod. Oh god. I apologize for this kill taking so long. Oh boy. You guys are embarrassing me. Give me this. What is this? This is a Daedric sword. Alright. I'm gonna Daedric your head right off your body. Ha! Did that work? It did not. Oh my god. Well, we're past our first traditional slow motion kill, so now you can have your head removed like that. Anyway, well, this is kind of cool. So, what I want to talk about today, like I said, I'm old enough that I lived in a world for a long time where there was no internet, right? There was something kind of similar to the internet. Uh-oh. Sort of, I don't know, like 1995, 96, right? Is when the internet started to be kind of a thing. But it wasn't really, again, broadband and availability of people in the United States and the world didn't really become a thing until like the early 2000s, right? And so back in a world before there was internet, things that seem completely simple right now were the most challenging things sometimes. So, oops, let's say you have to write a paper for something, whether it's, whether you're in high school or college right now, or you're old enough that you have to do a research paper of some sort, but you're still, like what they call millennials, whatever the hell, I mean, stop labeling people, folks. Everyone has their own thing. It doesn't mean that you're, anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, let's say you're not old enough that you remember the time when there was no internet, right? So you're just about to the point where now internet is everything, right? Everything that you do. There's a phone that you can have in your hand right now. You can type a few things on that phone and you can find out basically anything about anything. And it's not just anything about anything. It's like books and research papers and documentary videos made by people on YouTube or wherever else. This idea of having instant information on demand, probably the most important and significant innovation by mankind, I think maybe ever, right? Oh no. Hi! Her back is broken, but she's immortal, so it doesn't matter. Oh no! So, it is the single most, I think, important innovation that mankind has pretty much ever come up with. And yes, I mean, beyond even things like penicillin, right? I think it's more important that we have developed the internet because of the sheer fact that it allows us to know basically everything. So, like I said, let's say you're writing a research paper. Come on, what you want? You want some of this? Oh, God. Oh, I can't die, but it hurts so much. Anyway, so let's say you got to write a research paper, whether you're in college or high school or whatever. Okay. So today, you can just, like I said, tap, and you have all the information you want. Now, even these days, there's, Chat GPT, where even though it can give you a lot of wrong information at times at this point, right? It's still, as they say, AI right now hallucinates once in a while, right? It kind of makes up information. So it's funny, I've seen news stories about court cases where the lawyers will use... Oh no, what happened to the sword? The lawyers will use ChatGPT to make their arguments, and the AI completely makes up court cases to cite, and the judges are like, what is this? Anyway, so with stuff like that even, you can... There we go. You could just tap a few buttons and boom, boom, boom. Well, when I was growing up, in order to do a research paper, you had to go... And first you had to kind of research it. Maybe you were lucky. Maybe your parents had a set of encyclopedias. And you can still actually buy, they still have one last version of a physical encyclopedia. It's, 25 books that are 2 inches thick. And it's everything about everything, starting with A, going to Z. Everything that you need to know about essentially everything. Except if you need, oh God. If you need specific information on something that's not in those encyclopedias, well, oh crap, right? And it was interesting because everyone had this communal pool of knowledge, right? So when you wanted to look something up, everyone kind of had that same sort of encyclopedia at home. And when PCs, home PCs started to become more of a thing, you had these discs, and this is when, CD-ROMs and stuff came out. Not like, floppy disks, because that would have been impossible to do this with. You'd have the CD versions of encyclopedias. Sorry, had Mexican last night, feeling a little gassy. So that was the thing about that. Everyone had this same kind of pool of knowledge, and so you had everyone everyone kind of had the same ideas about things in terms of history. There was no well, I don't know if we actually went to the moon. Stop that, right? It's stuff like that. I need your sword. I need your sword. Come here. I need your sword. Give me your sword. Let go. Let go. Did you let go? You did. Just shake it out of her hands. So, everyone kind of had this same sort of base knowledge, and I think it was very helpful. It helped society kind of talk to each other and gain ideas and everything. Now, if you needed something that wasn't in those encyclopedias, you had to go to the library, right? And it was usually, going to the library was an all-day thing for a lot of these things. So you'd go and you would get, if you were doing a research paper or some sort of lab kind of thing with a bunch of other students, you would get a little study room. And they're, just tiny little rooms, maybe half the size of your average bedroom. They had a table and some windows, and it was a soundproof kind of thing, so you could do your research and your papers, and you could, kind of mess with, your other lab mates or whatever, and do your presentations, whatever it is, right? Okay. So you had to do that, but you got your study room, and then you'd have to go to the library computers. Now, if you were lucky, your library computers were more modern. If you weren't lucky, your library computers were kind of crap, slow and just garbage. Now, there was one kind of computer that I'm especially nostalgic for, and they are the card catalog computers that had the orange type on a kind of greenish, almost kind of cream kind of colored screen. Let me see if I can put that up there. Yeah, that one right there. So those kinds of computers were they were very cool because they were connected to a central server that had all of the Dewey Decimal information. Wow. I don't think that's something that's taught these days. At least I'm pretty sure it's not. The Dewey Decimal System. Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System? Conan the Librarian. Never mind. Anyway, so the Dewey Decimal System was this organization format. It still is for libraries, and it's broken up into numbers. So like, you'll have science, for instance, and this is just an example. I don't know if this is accurate. Like science, for instance, would be in the 200s of the Dewey Decimal System. And then broken down further, you have like, biology in there is like, 200, and then you have the subsection of like, 40 or something. And then like a specific one about a specific topic within biology breaks down the number even further. Stop casting at me! Why won't you die? Alright, now you will. Anyway, so, Dewey Decimal System, usually, if you were lucky, it would be connected to that computer, and you'd be able to look it up. Now, if you weren't lucky at all, if you're in if you're in a tiny little town that doesn't have those computers or something, you had to use the card catalog. And the card catalog is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a bunch of drawers with cards in them, like index cards, and it's the Dewey Decimal System on index cards. And you have to go and look up the thing you need, and it will show you, like certain points in the library. You have to go to this section of the library, and this part of the you have to go to this part of the bookshelves, and you have to go ahead and take care of this. And it was an interesting process because it was very, very slow, which is why it took you all day. Right? So you would have to set up things, you'd have to go look, you would have to sometimes go into something called microfiche, which is they would take like newspapers and magazine articles and things like that, and they like take pictures of them and miniaturize them. And those miniaturized versions, you put them on a special machine. Like they're little, they look like rolls of film, and you pop that into this machine, and it's like a screen. And you fast forward through all of them. You know exactly where you got to go. And stand still, bro. And you take care of it. You look at the things you want. You can print it off from that machine right there. Very cool invention, right? So you had to use something like that. You print it out on this weird, like, thick, glossy paper. I remember that as well. Yeah, microfiche machine right there. That's pretty cool. It was kind of like what spies used in the 60s to hold information. Anyway. Or you had to go get those books and go to a photocopy machine. Otherwise, colloquial, I can't say that. Colloquial? Damn it. I'll put that up on the screen. Colloquial. They're known as Xerox machines in a lot of places, right? Oh, did I get lost? Oh, no. Am I going over there? No, I think I came in that way. Oh, boy. Brain damage. So, they were known as Xerox machines, right? But they're photocopy machines. And I came in that way. All right, good. That tells me something. So you'd make copies of the things you needed to know. You'd go into that study room, and you would go and write your paper or whatever. Okay. Do I go over here? Oh, no, I'm lost. This is going to make this much harder to do. I don't go up here. Nope. Anyway, so you got that all done. You had to write the paper. You couldn't really, there were word processors, right? So a word processor, much what it sounds like, used for processing words. It's like a typewriter with a computer attached to it, right? I came this way, didn't I? No, I didn't. Yeah, right, indeed. No. So you had to type it up on that, or you'd write it out, whatever your teacher wants you to do. And then you go and that's that. Well, so entertainment was much the same. If you wanted to watch a movie, it was either on TV, you had cable television with movie channels like HBO or whatever. Those are apps now. Back then, channels on cable. So if you wanted entertainment, you had to wait for it to be somewhere that you wanted it, or you went to a video store, right? So like Blockbuster or something like that. Okay. So again, you had to wait. Things like Christmas, okay? So this is always one that I use as a good example of like why you kids these days, you have it so good, right? During Christmas time, or Hanukkah for those of you that are of our Judaic persuasion. There we go. When it was Christmas time and you wanted to watch, specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or The Grinch or Santa Claus is Coming to Town or whatever it is, right? When you wanted to watch it, you had to... Okay, so... you had to wait until that time of year, and then you had to wait for when it was showing during that time of the year. So it was like, it'd be on ABC at 8 o'clock on the December the 15th or something like that. And you had to wait for it to be there, and then you'd watch it. You'd all gather around and watch it. If you were lucky, your parents would let you, record it, right? Ooh. Your parents would let you record it, and so you have it almost any time that you want. What the hell? But that was the thing. You had to wait for it to happen. Everything that you did, you had to wait for it. Everything took more time. Everything was more detailed and involved. Now, does that mean that it's better today that we have this just complete wealth of knowledge? Again, you can pull out your phone right now, or the tablet, or whatever you're watching me on, right? You can go open up Wikipedia, or you can go to a research website or somewhere else here on YouTube and watch anything about any topic that you want. Come here. I'm slowly destroying this guy. Come here, I need your head. There you go. Is there someone else? I hear someone else. Do I? I think I do. Do I? No, I don't think I do. Anyway, so everything took a lot longer. Now, again, you pull out your tablet, you pull out your phone. I want to learn about... Norwegian basket weaving in the 1700s. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. You have you have all the information you wanted. Well, no, he's not dead. So if you wanted that kind of stuff back before the internet was a widespread thing, right? The chances were you wouldn't be able to find specifically something on that, right? You wouldn't be able to find that, and so you'd have to become this specialist researcher and stuff. You'd have to go and interview people in Norwegian countries and talk to experts about basket weaving in Norwegian history, and now it's a Google search away. You can find out anything you need to know. Now, is that good? Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, I think it's a little bit of both. Because this... what I said... Bro, what I said about the shared knowledge, right? When we all had the same encyclopedias at home. Almost, there were a few different manufacturers. This guy's like, let me at him, let me at him. Anyway, so when you had that shared kind of encyclopedia knowledge, everyone kind of was on the same page for things. But I think what that also did is it made it so not a lot of people thought outside the box. And those people who started to think outside the box, outside of that general shared knowledge, I think of the people that became the innovators that you see today. A lot of them at least, okay? Now, is that better or is it worse that it took more time to do things? Now, I think because you slowed things down, there was more of an emphasis on social aspects and gatherings and things like that, because you had to collaborate with people on things. You will regret it. You will regret it, lady. But you had to collaborate. You had to deal with other people. You had to take other people's ideas into account when you're doing your own, because there wasn't a Discord. There wasn't a forum to discuss things on. You couldn't just wow. You couldn't just get onto a server with somebody and discuss something like that. It was all, face to face. You want to talk to somebody, you dial them up. Oh boy, another boss fight, huh? All right. Why is there a mug right there? It's like, come drink from the mug. No, danger mug. Anyway, so taking that extra time, slowing it all down, I think it gave us a better appreciation for the process that was involved, right? But I think at the same time, when you compare it to today, there's always something that I've liked to discuss, and that is, over the years, throughout history, the greatest innovations, the greatest philosophy that's ever come out, the greatest set of art and science and philosophy that's ever come out in history has been because there has been a time of plenty. Okay? So, the Renaissance came around because there were people who could take care of the little day-to-day things that bug people, and so philosophers and artists and stuff could do their thing, could think about deep concepts, could paint their paintings. And it's because the Dark Ages, what we call the Dark Ages, kind of ended, and that's so deep of a topic, I'm just glossing over it completely. But part of what happened is people had the time and the resources to just kind of kick back and think about things. Or, like I said, paint something or sculpt something. Well, as you get more time, more free time, when we go along as a civilization, as the human civilization, you notice that when you have that free time, you develop other things. Right? So, we've had all this extra time just, in the last, 20 years, the last 20, 25 years, the human race has suddenly gained all of this extra time. And so that's why you see things like iPads and iPhones and SpaceX and things like that. These were things that would have taken tremendous resource and research and just R&D, all this stuff that would have been unfeasible back then because it would have been so much slower. And that's sort of the same reason why things like the space program kind of stalled, right? Before the technology came out that allowed us to have all that free time, you had the space shuttle program. Now, I'm not going to go into why the space shuttle program was a little bit effed, right? I mean, obviously for things like, Challenger and Columbia, but the space shuttle program wasn't really supposed to stick around as long as it did. But the reason that we kept it is because we had spent all this time developing it, right? There was all this money and effort and resources and everything that were put into developing this system. And so, And so what happened is it took so long to develop anything else that, boom, it was unfeasible, at least, not in terms of developing something new. So suddenly, the internet comes along, and you get people that have all this extra free time. You can crowdsource your information. You can put an issue to the world, right? Oh, wow, okay. So something like Reddit, right? Someone asks a question on Reddit. Hey, they post a picture of something they've never seen before, and they go, what is this, right? And the internet comes out, and they say, that's blah, blah, blah. Hey, let me help you. Ooh, okay. Let me help you with this concept. Let me help you with that concept. Oh, okay. Okay. Is he still alive? Oh, my God. Boink. Wait, where'd it go? Woo, okay. So, the internet can answer you if you have a question about something. So, I think that's why we got all these innovations that started popping up so quickly. Again, though, is it better or worse? Well, I think quality is what we've sacrificed for a lot of things. Because when you speed things up, whether you like it or not, you may not have all the time to take attention to detail. And now, this is something I think we're hoping that technology will supplement this idea, right? But I want you to think of something really quick. If you've seen 2001, right? You have HAL 9000, this robotic AI interface that decides at one point to kill everybody, right? It just goes nuts. Well, the thing that they brag about in that is it's the most stable computer that's ever been designed, right? It doesn't crash. It never crashes. And if it does have a problem, it self-heals. It self-diagnoses and self-heals. This is something that we see in just about every sci-fi and future set movie, or TV show or whatever, is that it's just taken for granted that computers are going to be flawless. Okay? But, as we all know, would you want to go on a space flight to like Jupiter or something and have it being run by a Windows computer? Right now you're probably going, oh hell no. Right? Would you trust all the functions on a computer to take care of life support and propulsion and navigation and everything? I think it's what was it, Journey to Mars, the movie. There were like 3 Mars movies that came out in the same 2 years. Anyway, wow. Okay. So there's one of them, Mission to Mars, I think, is it, where they physically have to, like, you know, power cycle the ship, right? They're like, we don't even know if it would do, like, if it would work. You shut the power off and turn it back on. Well, would you want to have to run friggin' Windows troubleshooting diagnostics when you're relying on this to handle how much oxygen is in your atmosphere? Hell no, right? But I think when they were man-made things, and this is part of why we haven't gone back to the moon, the technology required that we developed with the Apollo program was all handmade, hand-built. You know, they physically wove the circuits for those computers, which now, you know, your watch is 1,000 times more powerful than what they took to the moon, right? But they had to hand weave those copper circuits. There were ladies that did that. There were entire clubs, like groups of ladies at NASA that did that. Day after day, week after week, month after month, wove these things by hand. And that's part of what makes things so much more improved, right? They took the time. They took the effort to get every single detail right. And now we have, you know, algorithms and AI systems that do that stuff. But like I said before, AI sometimes hallucinates. It sometimes gives you the wrong information. And so therefore, we're kind of at a balance, right? Is it better that we have the internet? In terms of shared knowledge, yes. But it also exposes people to a lot of information and anxiety and things like social media that destroy, I think, part of who we are and kind of destroy a little bit of the effort that and I'm not doing this like you young kids these days don't know how good you have it. No. Things are awesome. I love it just as much as you do, right? A world where there's all this technology and innovation and, like, it's just incredible. Did I go this way already? I don't know. Oh, they screwed with me. But, like, I love that there's all this technology and innovation and everything. Does it mean that I don't miss a world where, you know, I got to go to a library and look up things and smell those dusty tomes and you know, pour through all these old books and magazines and everything for information? No, there's a certain magical kind of experience when you do that, right? It gives you a connection to what you're doing, but at the same time, these days, you trade that off for a deeper understanding of more things. And so, yeah, the world is easier now, but I don't necessarily think that it is better. Anyway, leave me your thoughts in the comments below what you think is going on. Anyway, we are in our cavern of success, which means we've made it. Woohoo! Another edition of Orpheus Plays completed successfully. Yes! Anyway, do good, be good, continue to do good, and treat yourself well, because you know what? You deserve it. We'll see you on the next one. Bye!